Shattered foundations, the email arrived at 4:53 p.m. on a Friday. Ethan Morgan stared at his monitor, reading the meeting invitation from HR scheduled for Monday morning. Restructuring discussions. He sighed, running a hand through his dark, slightly messy hair. 3 years at Nexus Innovations, and the tech startup was still running through cash faster than it generated revenue. Ready to go? Vanessa Reed appeared at his cubicle, designer handbag already slung over her shoulder. Her sleek blonde hair was pulled back in a perfect ponytail, not a strand out of place despite the 10-hour workday. Just got an HR meeting for Monday, Ethan said, grabbing his worn messenger bag. Probably another restructuring. Vanessa's expression shifted subtly. I need to talk to you about something. Dinner at Veluto's? Ethan blinked. Veluto's? That place is way outside our budget. I made a reservation. Vanessa was already walking toward the elevator. 2 hours later, they sat across from each other at a table with pristine white linens. Ethan fidgeted with his water glass while Vanessa sipped a martini, her third since they'd arrived. Is everything okay? He finally asked. Vanessa set down her glass. I've been thinking about us. Where we're going, Ethan's stomach tightened. What do you mean? I've been at Nexus for 8 months now, and I've realized some things. She traced the rim of her glass. When we met during your volunteer teaching at the community center, I admired your passion. But it's been 3 years, Ethan. We're still in that same cramped apartment. Your career is... She paused, searching for words. Stagnant. I just completed that major project for Richardson, Ethan countered. And I've been taking those programming courses you said were a waste of time. While Richard Thompson drives a Maserati and vacations in the Maldives, Vanessa leaned forward. Do you know he invited me to join the Executive Strategy Committee? Thompson? That's great, Ethan said, genuinely impressed. You've really impressed him. I've impressed him in many ways, Vanessa said, her voice suddenly cold. We've been seeing each other for the past month. The restaurant noise faded to a dull roar in Ethan's ears. What? Richard sees my potential. He's helping me advance my career. She reached for her purse. I'm sorry, Ethan, you're a good guy, really. You helped me through school, supported me when I couldn't make rent, but I need someone who can take me places. Someone ambitious. Ambitious? Ethan's voice cracked. I built our client management system from scratch while working full-time. I helped you study for every marketing exam. And I'll always appreciate that. Vanessa stood, smoothing her dress. I've already moved my things out. The key is on the counter. Ethan stared at her, stunned. 3 years together and you're ending it like this? For Thompson? He sees a future for me. A real future. Vanessa's expression hardened. Not just endless nights coding at the kitchen table and talking about someday. He's married, Vanessa. Separated. She gathered her coat. I'm sorry it ended this way. Ethan watched her walk away, her heels clicking on the polished floor. The waiter approached with their appetizers just as his phone buzzed with a text from his colleague, Priya. Heard about Monday's meeting? Major reorg. Thompson's cutting your department. The realization hit him like a physical blow. Vanessa hadn't just left him. She'd known he was about to lose his job. She'd jumped ship before it sank. The next Monday, Ethan sat stoically as HR explained the restructuring. His position was being eliminated. He had 2 weeks. As he packed his desk, Richard Thompson walked by, barely acknowledging him. Through the glass walls of the executive suite, Ethan could see Vanessa in a new office, laughing with the executive team. That night in his half-empty apartment, Ethan stared at his reflection in the bathroom mirror. Now what? He whispered to himself. For 3 years, his life had revolved around Vanessa, her goals, her dreams, her needs. His phone rang. It was Julian Chen, his former professor and mentor. Ethan, I heard what happened at Nexus. Listen, I know someone at Horizon Dynamics who's looking for a developer with exactly your skill set. The founder, Eleanor Brighton, is an old friend. Interested? Ethan looked at the empty space where Vanessa's perfumes once stood. Yes, he said firmly. I'm very interested. The silent climb 3, months after the restructuring at Nexus Innovations, Ethan Morgan settled into his new routine at Horizon Dynamics. The sleek minimalist office occupied the 15th floor of a downtown high-rise, worlds apart from the cramped startup environment he'd left behind. His workspace featured an ergonomic chair, dual monitors, and a small, succulent plant. A welcome gift from his new team. "Morgan, got a minute?" Darren Winters, his project manager, approached with a tablet in hand. "Of course," Ethan replied, saving his work. "The user authentication system you rebuilt. Eleanor wants to discuss it at the leadership meeting today. She was impressed with how you integrated the legacy code while upgrading security protocols." Ethan blinked in surprise. "Eleanor? As in Eleanor Brighton, the founder? She reviews all major system upgrades personally." Darren handed him the tablet. "Meeting's at 2. Just walk her through what you did." The leadership meeting was intimidating. 12 executives sat around a polished conference table, with Eleanor Brighton at the head, a striking woman in her 60s with silver-streaked black hair and penetrating eyes. Ethan had only seen her from afar during company meetings. "Mr. Morgan," she nodded when he entered, "I understand you're the architect behind our new authentication system." "Yes, ma'am." Ethan connected his tablet to the projector. The previous system was functional, but vulnerable to several emerging security threats. For 20 minutes, Ethan explained his work, growing more confident as he spoke. The executives asked pointed questions, which he answered with clarity and precision. "Impressive work," Eleanor said when he finished, "especially considering you've been with us just 3 months. Where did you learn this approach?" "I developed something similar for my previous employer," Ethan replied. "But I expanded on it using some research papers from MIT's cybersecurity lab." Eleanor nodded thoughtfully. "We're launching a new initiative next quarter, comprehensive digital transformation for our enterprise clients. I'd like you to join the core development team." After the meeting, Ethan called his sister Jennifer to share the news. "That's fantastic," she exclaimed. "See? Leaving Nexus was the best thing that could have happened." "Maybe," Ethan conceded. The wound of Vanessa's betrayal had begun to heal, but still ached when touched. "Have you seen her since?" Jennifer asked, reading his thoughts. "No," Ethan replied, "though I heard from Priya that Thompson got her a director position. Bypassed 3 senior managers. And you're still better off," Jennifer said firmly. "Now, please tell me you're actually using that gym membership I got you." Ethan laughed. 3 times a week. It helps clear my head." Over the next few months, Ethan threw himself into the enterprise initiative. His days blurred into a rhythm of coding, meetings, and increasingly complex problem-solving. He volunteered for challenging assignments and stayed late to help colleagues troubleshoot their projects. The gym became his sanctuary, where he worked through coding problems while building physical strength he'd neglected for years. One evening, as Ethan worked alone in the office, a woman about his age entered the development floor. She wore jeans and a simple blouse rather than the typical executive attire, her curly auburn hair pulled into a casual bun. "Sorry," she said, noticing him. "I thought everyone had gone home." "Just finishing something," Ethan explained, standing politely. "Can I help you find someone?" "I'm Olivia Brighton," she said with a warm smile. "Just picking up some reports for my mother." Ethan straightened immediately. "You're Eleanor's daughter?" "Guilty as charged," she laughed. "And you are?" "Ethan Morgan. I work on the enterprise transformation team." "Ah, the authentication wizard," Olivia nodded. "Mom mentioned your work. Very impressive." "Thank you," Ethan said, surprised Eleanor had discussed him with her daughter. "What are you working on so late?" Olivia gestured to his monitors. "The client portal interface. It's almost there, but something's missing." Ethan turned his screen toward her. Olivia studied it thoughtfully. "Have you considered a dashboard approach? Something that visualizes their data instead of just displaying it in tables?" "That's actually brilliant," Ethan said, mentally reconfiguring the interface. "Are you in tech too?" "Behavioral economics, actually. I consult with tech companies on user experience design." She glanced at her watch. "I should grab those reports. But maybe you could show me how the dashboard turns out." "I'd like that," Ethan replied, surprised by his own enthusiasm. 2 weeks later, Ethan presented the revised client portal to the leadership team, including Olivia, who had joined as a UX consultant. The executives were unanimously impressed. "This is exactly what our enterprise clients need." Eleanor declared. Visual, intuitive, secure. Excellent work, both of you. After the meeting, Olivia caught up with Ethan in the hallway. We make a good team, she said with a smile. We do, he agreed. Would you want to continue the collaboration over coffee sometime? I'd like that, Olivia replied. How about tomorrow? Coffee led to lunch, which led to regular work sessions where they refined the enterprise platform. Ethan found himself looking forward to their meetings, appreciating Olivia's sharp mind and unpretentious manner. She listened when he spoke, challenged his ideas respectfully, and seemed genuinely interested in his perspective. One evening, as they packed up after a particularly productive session, Olivia asked, Are you going to the Horizon Anniversary Gala next month? I hadn't really thought about it, Ethan admitted. Company social events reminded him of Vanessa, how she'd always calculated who to speak with for maximum career advantage. You should come, Olivia said. Everyone who worked on the enterprise platform will be recognized. She hesitated, then added, Plus, I could use an ally who doesn't just want to talk about my mother's company. Ethan smiled. In that case, I'd be happy to attend. As he walked home that evening, Ethan realized he hadn't thought about Vanessa in weeks. Something had shifted. He was no longer defined by what he'd lost, but by what he was building. And for the first time in months, he felt genuinely hopeful about the future. Unexpected allies. The summer sun streamed through the tall windows of Horizon's Innovation Lab as Ethan and Olivia hunched over a prototype of their enterprise client interface. 6 weeks had passed since their first coffee meeting, and their professional collaboration had evolved into something neither had anticipated, a friendship built on mutual respect and genuine enjoyment of each other's company. If we move the analytics module here, Olivia suggested, sliding the component across the touchscreen, users see their key performance indicators immediately upon login. That would mean restructuring the entire navigation flow, Ethan said, running a hand through his hair, now neatly trimmed thanks to Jennifer's insistence that he stop looking like a hermit. Worth it, though? Olivia tilted her head questioningly, a habit Ethan had come to find endearing. Definitely worth it. He nodded, already mapping out the code changes in his mind. Their working relationship had a rhythm that felt almost telepathic at times. Olivia would identify user experience improvements, and Ethan would immediately understand how to implement them technically. They challenged each other's assumptions without ego or defensiveness, a stark contrast to his collaborations with Vanessa, which had always felt like walking on eggshells. You two are still at it? Eleanor Brighton stood in the doorway, observing them with a hint of amusement. Mom, Olivia straightened. We didn't hear you come in. Clearly, Eleanor approached the prototype. Show me what you've accomplished today. As Olivia demonstrated the interface improvements, Ethan noticed how similar mother and daughter were. Both possessed the same analytical mind and attention to detail, though Olivia's approach was more intuitive, while Eleanor's was strategic. Impressive progress, Eleanor nodded after the demonstration. The board is eager to see this at next week's review. She turned to Ethan. I understand you've been putting in extra hours on this project. It's exciting work, Ethan replied honestly. Well, your dedication hasn't gone unnoticed. Eleanor gave him an approving look. Neither has your influence on this project, Olivia. Your user behavior insights have elevated the entire platform. After Eleanor departed, Olivia sighed. High praise from the founder. She's right, though, Ethan said. Your contributions have been invaluable. As have yours, Olivia countered. This wouldn't work without your technical solutions. They worked late into the evening, ordering takeout and losing track of time as they refined the platform. Around 9 o'clock, Olivia's phone buzzed. Everything okay? Ethan asked, noticing her frown. Just my ex-boyfriend, she said, silencing the phone. He's back in town and wants to reconnect. Ah, Ethan nodded, trying to ignore an unexpected pang of disappointment. Recent breakup? 6 months ago. Olivia shook her head. He took a job in London that he claimed was too good to pass up. I later discovered he'd been planning the move for months without telling me. I'm sorry, Ethan said quietly. What about you? Olivia asked. Anyone special? Ethan hesitated. There was. It ended badly a few months ago. What happened, if you don't mind me asking? She worked at Nexus with me, Ethan explained, surprising himself with his willingness to share. Left me for our boss, Richard Thompson. Then I was laid off in a restructuring that she knew about beforehand. Olivia's eyes widened. That's awful, Ethan. I'm so sorry. It was a wake-up call, he admitted. I'd spent years supporting her ambitions while she saw me as inadequate, not successful enough. Her loss, Olivia said with unexpected fierceness. Anyone who measures relationships by status or career advancement is missing what really matters. Their conversation shifted to deeper waters, values, aspirations, disappointments. They discovered shared experiences. Both had put partners through school only to be left when better opportunities arose. Both had retreated into work after heartbreak. Both valued integrity over advancement. It's getting late, Olivia finally noted, checking her watch. We should probably call it a night. As they packed up, Ethan gathered his courage. Would you like to grab dinner sometime? Not working, just dinner, Olivia smiled. I'd really like that. Their first date took place at a small Vietnamese restaurant tucked away in a quiet neighborhood, far from the upscale establishments Vanessa had favored. They talked for hours, about everything and nothing, discovering a comfort in each other's company that neither had expected. More dates followed. Weeknight dinners, weekend hikes, a cooking class that ended with flower-covered laughter. Ethan found himself sharing things he'd never told anyone, even Vanessa, during their 3 years together. Olivia listened with genuine interest, offering insights without judgment. Meanwhile, their professional collaboration flourished. The enterprise platform progressed rapidly, gaining attention throughout the company. 2 weeks before launch, they were summoned to Eleanor's office. The board is extremely impressed with the platform, Eleanor told them. So impressed that they've approved a special presentation at the anniversary gala. We'll be showcasing it to our top clients and industry press. That's wonderful, Olivia said, glancing at Ethan. There's more, Eleanor continued. Thompson Tech has expressed interest in a potential partnership around this technology. Ethan froze. Thompson Tech? As in Richard Thompson's company? Yes, Eleanor nodded. They've struggled with enterprise solutions. Richard reached out personally after hearing about our platform. That's interesting timing, Ethan said carefully. Later, in the privacy of the innovation lab, Ethan paced nervously. This can't be a coincidence. Thompson must have heard I'm leading this project. Would he really pursue a partnership just to compete with you? Olivia asked skeptically. It's not about competing with me, Ethan explained. It's about acquiring what he couldn't develop internally. The authentication system I built at Nexus? He tried to replicate it after I left. Failed spectacularly, according to my old colleague Priya. So he wants our platform because he couldn't build his own, Olivia concluded. That's actually a compliment to your work. I guess so, Ethan acknowledged. But the thought of working with Thompson again, after everything... Olivia took his hand. You don't have to decide anything tonight. Let's see what happens at the gala. As the anniversary gala approached, their relationship deepened. Ethan found himself thinking less about Vanessa's betrayal and more about Olivia's smile, her intellect, her kindness. For the first time since the breakup, he felt genuine happiness, not just the absence of pain, but real joy. The night before the gala, as they walked back to Olivia's apartment after dinner, she turned to him with unusual seriousness. There's something I should tell you before tomorrow, she said. I've accepted a position as Horizon's Chief Experience Officer. Mom's announcing it at the gala. Ethan's face broke into a genuine smile. Olivia, that's amazing. Congratulations. You're not concerned about us working together in different roles? Why would I be? He asked honestly. You're brilliant at what you do. The company's lucky to have you in leadership. Olivia studied his face, then leaned up and kissed him. Thank you for being exactly who you are, Ethan Morgan. As he held her close, Ethan realized something profound had changed within him. The man who had been shattered by Vanessa's rejection now stood taller, stronger, and more authentic than before. Whatever tomorrow's gala might bring, he would face it with newfound confidence and with Olivia by his side. The anniversary gala, the Grand Meridian Hotel ballroom shimmered with elegant lighting and sophisticated decor for Horizon Dynamics' 10th anniversary celebration. Crystal chandeliers cast a warm glow over tables adorned with white orchids and blue hydrangeas, Horizon's corporate colors. A string quartet played softly in one corner while waitstaff circulated with champagne and hors d'oeuvres. Ethan adjusted his tie nervously as he entered. The charcoal suit he wore was new, a purchase Jennifer had insisted upon after hearing about the gala. "If you're presenting to industry bigwigs and attending with the founder's daughter, you need to look the part," she'd declared. "Ethan." Darren Winters approached, cocktail in hand. "Man of the hour. The exec team can't stop talking about your platform." It was a team effort, Ethan demurred. Olivia's user experience insights made all the difference. "Speaking of..." Darren nodded toward the entrance. Ethan turned and momentarily lost his breath. Olivia had just arrived in a midnight blue gown that complemented her auburn hair, which fell in loose waves around her shoulders. She spotted him immediately and smiled, making her way through the crowd. "You look incredible," Ethan said when she reached him. "Not so bad yourself," she replied, straightening his already straight tie. "Ready for your big moment?" "As I'll ever be," he admitted. They circulated through the crowd together, speaking with executives, board members, and industry representatives. Ethan was surprised by his own confidence as he discussed the technical aspects of the platform. 6 months ago, he would have stammered through such conversations, second-guessing himself at every turn. Now he spoke with authority, secure in his expertise. "There's my mother," Olivia whispered, nodding toward Eleanor, who was speaking with a group of distinguished-looking guests. "She wants us to join them." As they approached, Eleanor smiled warmly. "Ah, the innovators themselves. Allow me to introduce Ethan Morgan, our lead developer, and Olivia Brighton, our user experience consultant." Ethan shook hands with each guest, maintaining his composure until the last introduction. "And this is Richard Thompson, CEO of Thompson Tech, and his companion, Vanessa Reed." The world seemed to slow as Ethan found himself face-to-face with his ex-girlfriend and former boss. Vanessa looked stunning in a crimson dress, diamonds glittering at her throat and ears. Her expression froze momentarily when she recognized him, quickly masked by a practiced smile. "Ethan," she said with forced casualness. "What a surprise, is it?" he replied evenly. "I understood Mr. Thompson was interested in our enterprise platform. I'm the lead architect." Richard Thompson, taller than Ethan remembered, with silver-streaked dark hair and an expensive suit, extended his hand. "Morgan, didn't realize you'd landed at Horizon." "Their gain, it seems," Ethan replied, shaking the offered hand firmly. "You two know each other?" Eleanor asked. "Mr. Morgan worked for Nexus before the restructuring," Thompson said dismissively. "Junior developer, if I recall." "Mid-level security specialist, actually," Ethan corrected calmly. "I designed their authentication system. The one that was compromised last quarter?" Olivia asked innocently. "I read about that data breach in Tech Quarterly. Affected several major clients, didn't it?" Thompson's jaw tightened. "A regrettable incident. Our security team has addressed the vulnerabilities." "Interesting timing on your interest in our platform," Ethan noted. "Business is business," Thompson replied coldly. "Eleanor, perhaps we could discuss potential synergies privately." As Thompson led Eleanor away, Vanessa lingered awkwardly. "You look well, Ethan." "Thank you," he replied. "I am well." An uncomfortable silence stretched between them until Olivia extended her hand. "I'm Olivia Brighton. You must be Vanessa." "Yes." Vanessa shook her hand, eyes darting between them. "Have you been with Horizon long?" "My mother founded the company," Olivia said with a pleasant smile. "I've been involved in various capacities throughout its evolution." Vanessa's eyes widened slightly. "Your mother is Eleanor Brighton?" "She is," Olivia confirmed. "Ethan and I have been collaborating on the enterprise platform for the past few months. His technical innovations have been remarkable." "I see," Vanessa said, her composure slipping. "Excuse me, I should join Richard," As she walked away, Ethan released a breath he hadn't realized he was holding. "Thank you," he whispered to Olivia. "For what?" "Stating facts?" She squeezed his hand. "You okay?" Surprisingly, yes, he realized. Seeing her doesn't hurt anymore. The evening progressed with dinner, speeches, and networking. Ethan observed Vanessa watching him throughout the night, especially during his presentation of the enterprise platform, which received enthusiastic applause. He noticed her expression shift from dismissive to confused to grudgingly impressed as he demonstrated the system's capabilities. Later, as the formal program concluded and the party transitioned to dancing and mingling, Eleanor approached them with Thompson. "Richard has proposed an interesting arrangement," she explained. "Thompson Tech wants to license our enterprise platform for their clients." "Not a partnership?" Ethan asked carefully. "I've reconsidered," Thompson admitted. "Your system is more advanced than I initially realized. We'd prefer to implement it as is, rather than attempt a joint development." "A wise decision," Eleanor nodded. "Ethan, as lead architect, your input on the licensing terms will be essential. We'll schedule a meeting next week." "I look forward to it," Ethan replied professionally. As Eleanor and Thompson moved away, Olivia leaned close to Ethan. "Translation, his team can't match what you've built, so he's buying access instead." "Seems that way," Ethan agreed, surprised by his lack of vindictiveness. Success truly was the best revenge, but it felt hollow compared to the genuine satisfaction of creating something valuable. The evening was winding down when Vanessa approached Ethan alone. Catching him at the bar. "Can we speak privately?" she asked. Ethan hesitated, then nodded. They moved to a quieter corner of the ballroom. "You've done well for yourself," Vanessa began, her voice lacking its usual confidence. "Yes," Ethan agreed simply. "I didn't expect—" She trailed off. "When I left, I thought that I'd fall apart." Ethan finished for her. "I nearly did. But it turns out getting my heart broken was exactly what I needed." Vanessa flinched. "I never meant to hurt you, didn't you?" Ethan asked quietly. "You knew about the restructuring when you left. You could have warned me." "Richard said it was confidential," she defended weakly. "How are things with him?" Ethan asked, genuinely curious rather than bitter. Vanessa's eyes flicked across the room to where Thompson was speaking with board members. "Complicated. He's separated but not divorced. The promotion came through, but—" She hesitated. "It's not what I expected. What did you expect?" "More, I guess. Recognition, respect." She sighed. "His ex-wife still shows up at company events. Everyone treats me like I'm temporary." Ethan felt a surprising wave of compassion. "I'm sorry to hear that. Are you and Olivia Brighton serious?" Vanessa asked abruptly. "Yes," Ethan said, realizing as he spoke that it was true. "We are. She seems—" Vanessa searched for words. "Genuine. She is," Ethan confirmed. "That's what makes her remarkable." A silence fell between them, heavy with unspoken thoughts. "I should get back to Richard," Vanessa finally said. "Vanessa," Ethan called softly as she turned to leave. "I hope you find what you're looking for." She gave him a sad smile. "I think you already have." As Vanessa walked away, Olivia appeared at his side. "Everything okay?" "Better than okay," Ethan said, wrapping an arm around her waist. "Dance with me?" On the dance floor, surrounded by Horizon's celebration of a decade of innovation, Ethan held Olivia close. Over her shoulder, he caught a glimpse of Vanessa watching them, her expression unreadable. For a moment, their eyes met across the room, a silent acknowledgement of paths chosen and consequences accepted. Then Ethan turned his attention fully to Olivia, to the present, to the future they might build together. As the music swelled around them, he realized he was exactly where he was meant to be. Beyond appearances, the weeks following the anniversary gala transformed Ethan's professional and personal life in ways he could never have anticipated. The licensing deal with Thompson Tech progressed swiftly, bringing substantial revenue to Horizon Dynamics and establishing Ethan's enterprise platform as an industry benchmark. Eleanor Brighton announced Olivia's appointment as Chief Experience Officer to enthusiastic approval, and shortly thereafter, Promoted Ethan to Director of Enterprise Solutions. You've earned this, Eleanor told him during a private meeting in her office. Not just through technical excellence, but through leadership. Thank you for the opportunity, Ethan replied sincerely. I won't let you down. I know you won't, Eleanor said with unusual warmth. And on a personal note, I've never seen Olivia happier. Whatever is between you two, it has my blessing. Autumn arrived with crisp mornings and golden afternoons. Ethan and Olivia established a comfortable rhythm in their relationship, working diligently during the week, then escaping the city on weekends for hiking trips or quiet getaways to coastal bed and breakfasts. They navigated the complexity of their professional relationship with surprising ease, maintaining separate spheres of responsibility while supporting each other's initiatives. One Saturday morning, as they prepared breakfast in Ethan's apartment, now tastefully furnished thanks to Olivia's influence, his phone chimed with a message from Priya, his former colleague at Nexus. Everything okay? Olivia asked, noticing his expression as he read the message. Interesting news? Ethan replied. Thompson and Vanessa broke up. She's leaving Nexus. How do you feel about that? Olivia asked carefully. Ethan considered the question. Honestly, I feel nothing strong either way. Just hope she finds what she's looking for. Olivia smiled. That's one of the things I love about you. Your capacity for compassion, even toward people who've hurt you. The words hung in the air between them. One of the things I love about you. Neither had said I love you directly yet, though the feeling had been growing steadily for months. There are many things I love about you, too, Ethan said softly. Olivia set down the coffee pot and moved around the counter to face him. Like what? Your brilliance, he began. Your integrity. How you see people for who they are, not what they can do for you. The way you laugh with your whole body. How you always ask the hardest questions about every design. Your courage in challenging your mother when needed, even though you respect her immensely. Olivia's eyes glistened. That's quite a list. I'm just getting started, Ethan said with a gentle smile. I love you, Olivia. Not for being Eleanor Brighton's daughter or for your professional talents, though those are impressive. I love you for exactly who you are. I love you too, she replied, reaching for his hands. For the man who rebuilds himself after heartbreak, who creates rather than destroys, who measures success by integrity, not status. They sealed this confession with a kiss that felt like a promise, interrupted only by the burning smell of forgotten pancakes. Later that week, Ethan was working late when his office phone rang. He was surprised to hear Vanessa's voice. Ethan, I hope it's okay to call you at work. I got your number from the Horizon directory. Is everything all right? He asked, concerned by her subdued tone. I'm leaving Nexus, she said. I wanted you to hear it from me, not through the rumor mill. Priya mentioned something, Ethan admitted. What happened with Thompson? Vanessa sighed heavily. Reality happened. He never intended to leave his wife. The separation was just for show, to placate the board after the affairs became too obvious. When I confronted him, he offered me a choice, accept the situation or lose my position. I'm sorry, Ethan said, and meant it. Don't be, Vanessa replied with unexpected firmness. It was a wake-up call I needed. I've accepted a marketing position with a smaller firm, less prestige, but they value authentic creativity over office politics. That sounds promising, Ethan said. It is, she agreed. But that's not why I called. I wanted to apologize properly this time, not just for how I ended things, but for why. I chose status over substance, appearance over reality. Seeing you with Olivia at the gala, the way you look at each other like you're truly partners, it made me realize what I'd thrown away. We were young, Ethan offered. Both still figuring out what matters. You weren't, Vanessa countered. You always knew what mattered. I was the one who had to learn the hard way. She paused. Anyway, I just wanted to say I'm truly sorry and I'm happy for you. You deserve this success. So do you, Vanessa, Ethan said sincerely. And I hope you find it at your new company. After they hung up, Ethan sat contemplating the conversation. There was a symmetry to it, a closing of one chapter that allowed another to fully begin. He felt a sense of completion rather than vindication. His reflection was interrupted by a knock at his door. Olivia entered, carrying 2 coffee cups. "Thought you might need reinforcements for your late night," she explained, setting a cup on his desk. "The prototype review is tomorrow, right?" "Right." Ethan nodded gratefully, both for the coffee and for her presence. "That was Vanessa on the phone, by the way." "Oh?" Olivia raised an eyebrow, settling into the chair across from him. Ethan recounted the conversation, including Vanessa's apology. When he finished, Olivia was quiet for a moment. "That couldn't have been easy for her," she finally said. "No," Ethan agreed. "It wasn't. Does it change anything for you?" Olivia asked, a hint of vulnerability in her voice. Ethan reached across the desk for her hand. "It gives me closure, but that's all. My heart is firmly where it belongs, with you." 6 months later, on a snowy December evening, Ethan and Olivia stood on the rooftop terrace of Horizon Tower, surrounded by twinkling lights and heat lamps that kept the winter chill at bay. The city spread below them, a tapestry of lights and shadows. "Remember our first meeting?" Olivia asked, leaning against the railing. "Right down there on the 15th floor. You thought everyone had gone home," Ethan recalled, smiling at the memory, and suggested a dashboard approach to the client portal, which revolutionized the entire interface, she added with mock solemnity. "Which revolutionized my entire life," Ethan corrected, turning to face her fully. The weight of the small velvet box in his pocket reminded him of his purpose in bringing her to the rooftop. He had planned an elaborate speech, but standing here now, words seemed inadequate. Instead, he simply took her hands in his. "Olivia Brighton, you walked into my life when I was rebuilding myself from heartbreak. You saw me clearly when I was still learning to see myself. You valued substance over appearance, integrity over status, genuine connection over convenience." He dropped to one knee, snow dampening his pant leg. "I love you. Will you marry me?" Tears glistened in Olivia's eyes as she nodded. "Yes, absolutely yes." As he slipped the ring onto her finger, a sapphire surrounded by small diamonds, elegant rather than flashy, Ethan reflected on the journey that had brought them here. Vanessa's betrayal had once seemed like an ending, a catastrophic collapse of everything he'd built. Now he recognized it as a necessary redirection, steering him toward a path he might never have found otherwise. Later that night, as they celebrated with friends and family at a nearby restaurant, Jennifer pulled her brother aside. "Did you ever imagine when she left you that you'd end up here?" Ethan watched Olivia across the room, laughing with his friends as if she'd known them forever. "Never," he admitted. "But I wouldn't change a thing about how it happened." "Really?" Jennifer looked skeptical. "Not even the part where she left you for your sleazy boss?" "Not even that," Ethan said with certainty. "Some lessons can only be learned through loss. I needed to lose what I thought I wanted to discover what I truly needed." Across the restaurant, Ethan caught a glimpse of a familiar face, Vanessa, dining with friends. Their eyes met briefly. She noticed his arm around Olivia, the new ring glinting on Olivia's finger. Vanessa smiled, a genuine smile this time, and raised her glass in a silent toast. Ethan nodded in acknowledgement before turning back to Olivia, to his future, to the life they would build together. A life founded not on appearances or status or ambition, but on the bedrock of mutual respect, shared values, and authentic connection, the truest form of success he had ever known.